Good morning and welcome to your daily Farm and Home Show, brought to you by the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service. And now, here's your host. Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Tony Pescatore. He's with the University of Kentucky as Extension Poultry Specialist there. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Now, Tony, today, there's been a great interest in small flocks, raising chickens in the backyard, that kind of thing. Have you seen that across the state?
We're seeing a very large increase in people interested in raising some type of poultry, whether it's in the rural areas or in the city areas.
Yeah, we've had a lot of calls about city zoning and if they can have roosters and those kind of things. Now, I know we have some publications and some information, but just give us some advice. What are some tips for those small flock owners?
Well, you hit on one of them. Before you even start out, you really need to know what your local ordinances are telling you, because you don't want to make an investment in birds and you have a limit on the number or the type of bird you have. So check with your zoning offices, especially if you're in an urban setting. Find out what the law is. The next thing to really look at is to look at what do you want to have for those chickens. Are they ornamental? Do you want a few eggs? Do you want to be able to sell eggs? Do you want to sell meat birds? That type of thing. So you have to realize what's the purpose that you're doing.
Yes, because there are different breeds that would support those different, I guess, interests, right?
Yes, there's different breeds. There are specific breeds that are set for egg production. There's different ones for meat production. And there's also dual-purpose birds. But one that's really coming on now is there's a lot of interest in what they call heritage birds, are breeds that are almost extinct or are old-time breeds. And word of caution on those is they are not as bred or as specialized as those other birds, so they do take an extra helping of care.
Now, Tony, I know a lot of people, they'll go to a swap meet, or they'll go somewhere where livestock's being sold, a flea market or something like that, and then they'll bring birds home. Is that recommended?
Really, if the birds are older birds and you already have birds on a farm, it is not recommended, because when you buy an older bird, you're buying whatever they've been exposed to. If they insist or really want to buy some birds to add to their flock, one of the things we recommend is that they quarantine those birds from the other birds for at least 30 days. And why quarantine, put them in a different part of the farm, also wear different clothes and different boots when you're taking care of them, so that you're not intermingling, and then you can see if the birds remain healthy or if there's any disease problems with them.
Okay, now once we get these birds and we get them home, probably one of the common questions I get is, what do I feed them?
Well, the good thing right now is that most of the commercial feeds are very good now. There's a lot of different variety. You can get starter diets, you can get developer diets, and you get layer diets, and most of the feed stores have them. We recommend a starter diet in the beginning when the birds are young, in the first 3 weeks. That runs about 20 or 22% protein, then switching that down to lower diets. But when they get into producing eggs, we like to see a diet that's about 15 or 16% protein and have at least 4 to 5% calcium in it.
Okay, because a lot of times we'll get calls about maybe poor egg quality and they're not feeding the birds the right things.
Yes, one of the things that we do have a problem with is people like feeding sometimes cracked corn or scratch grains as a way of reducing their feed costs. And I always put that as being just like eating French fries. It's a lot of energy, but it's not much protein, and the birds don't do well on it. If you're having a layer flock, it's best to feed layer diets that are have protein in them as well as calcium.
I know, the homeowner will always call and say, but they love that. And I was like, yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
And so, but the proper nutrition is super important.
Proper nutrition is super important. If you have any questions about poultry or the small flocks, we have a website called smallflocks.com. It's the university's website for small flock information. So we have a lot of information for the beginner farmer as well as the seasoned person. So if you go to smallflocks.com, and we also have an e-extension site that you can have frequently asked questions on.
Okay, because I know after Easter, a lot of people might have some other type of poultry like ducks or things like that. And a lot of times they'll get them, but they have no idea how to take care of them. That information is on that website as well.
Yes, all kinds of poultry is covered in that website. So if you go to that website, you should be able to find your question. Or if you go to eExtension and go to the poultry page, we have frequently asked questions that may cover it, or you can ask the expert.
All right, well, thank you for visiting with us today, and thank you for watching the Farm and Home Show. We hope you have a great day.
If you have questions about today's topics, please call the Warren County Extension Office at the number on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.